When Emily Carter woke up that morning, the world outside her window looked ordinary. Golden sunlight spilled over the sleepy town of Willow Creek, and the familiar hum of the neighborhood filled the air. But for Emily, every sunrise carried the same quiet ache, the reminder that her husband, Daniel, had been gone for nearly 7 years. He hadn't left a note, hadn't called, hadn't explained. One evening, after dinner, he kissed her forehead, said he was going to the store, and never came back. For years, Emily searched for answers. The police found no clues, and every lead went cold. Friends drifted away, and whispers followed her everywhere, rumors about what might have happened. Some said Daniel had run away from debt, others claimed he'd simply chosen a new life. But Emily knew deep down, something wasn't right. Daniel wasn't the kind of man who vanished without reason. Still, she had to move on. Her daughter, Lily, was only 6 when Daniel disappeared. Now 13, she had grown into a smart, kind, and compassionate young girl. Emily worked part-time at the town library and spent her evenings helping Lily with homework or reading her favorite mystery novels. Life had become quiet, almost peaceful, until one ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Emily was sorting returned books when her coworker, Jenna, mentioned something odd. "Hey, Em, there's a man outside who's been sitting in his truck for almost an hour. He keeps looking at the library entrance." Emily's heart skipped. She turned toward the window but couldn't see his face. Just an old pickup, paint faded, headlights off. She brushed off the thought. Probably just someone waiting for a friend. When she came home that evening, the house felt colder than usual. She tucked Lily into bed and sat in the living room, the silence pressing in. As she reached for the photo of Daniel on the mantel, a soft knock echoed from the front door. It was late, almost 10 p.m. Emily hesitated before opening it. When she did, the world seemed to stop. There he was, Daniel, older, thinner, his face marked by time and wear, but unmistakably him. His eyes, those deep green eyes she'd memorized, looked at her with a mixture of guilt and relief. "Emily," he whispered, voice trembling. "It's me." For several seconds, Emily couldn't speak. She could only stare, her breath caught in her chest. She wanted to slam the door, scream, cry, hug him, everything all at once. Finally, she stepped aside and said softly, "Come in." He entered hesitantly, removing his hat. "You look the same," he murmured. "I don't," she replied, her voice firm but trembling. "You disappeared, Daniel. 7 years. No calls, no letters, nothing. You don't get to walk in here and pretend nothing happened." Daniel lowered his gaze. "I know. I didn't want to disappear, Emily. I was in an accident. I woke up in a hospital 2 states away. They said my memory was gone. I didn't remember who I was, who you were." Emily's heart pounded. "And now, you remember." He nodded, tears forming. "A few months ago, flashes started coming back. Faces, places, your name. It took time to piece it together. I came as soon as I could." Emily felt dizzy, sitting down to steady herself. She'd dreamed of this moment countless times, but it never looked like this. Tired eyes, scarred hands, a stranger wearing the face she'd loved. Lily appeared at the top of the stairs, rubbing her eyes. "Mom, who's that?" Emily froze. Daniel turned toward the small voice. His eyes softened, filling with emotion. "Lily," she blinked, confused. "You know my name." He smiled through tears. "I could never forget it." Emily's heart broke watching her daughter step closer, uncertain yet curious. That night, Daniel slept on the couch. Emily couldn't sleep at all. Memories flooded back. Daniel laughing while fixing the car, playing guitar by the fire, holding baby Lily. It was like a movie from another life. The next morning, they sat in silence over breakfast. "I don't expect forgiveness," Daniel said quietly. "But I need you to know, I never stopped loving you. Even when I didn't remember, something inside me felt empty. Like something important was missing." Emily sighed, tears welling up. "You missed a lot, Daniel. Birthdays, school plays, nights Lily cried for her dad." He nodded, pain written on his face. "I'll never forgive myself for that. But if you let me, I want to make it right." It wasn't easy. The town buzzed with gossip once people saw Daniel back. Some welcomed him, others doubted his story. But Emily chose to focus on what mattered, her family's healing. Weeks passed. Slowly, Daniel began rebuilding his life, working at the local mechanic shop, attending therapy, and helping around the house. He spent time getting to know Lily again, showing up for every soccer game, every small moment he'd missed. One evening, Emily found him in the garage, fixing an old bicycle. Whose bike is that? She asked. He smiled softly. Yours. You used to love riding to the lake. Thought maybe we could go again. Tears filled her eyes. You remembered that? Not everything, he said, touching his chest. Just enough. That night, they rode together under the soft glow of the streetlights, laughter echoing through the quiet streets. For the first time in years, Emily felt something she hadn't in a long time, peace. Months later, Daniel proposed again, this time with a ring made from a small piece of silver he'd found at the crash site where his memory returned. Emily smiled through tears. We already did this once. Then let's call this a new beginning, he said. Their small wedding took place by the lake, surrounded by close friends, family, and their daughter. It wasn't about perfection, it was about forgiveness, hope, and second chances. As the sun set over Willow Creek, Emily looked at Daniel and whispered, "You came back." He smiled, squeezing her hand. "I always would, even if it took me a lifetime." And in that quiet, golden moment, Emily finally understood. Love isn't about never getting lost, it's about finding your way back, no matter how far you've gone.